All right, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
You sure you're ready, Hassan?
Let me just text my mom real quick.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I think we should be recording while he's texting his mother.
Hey.
Let me know when you're ready.
And good.
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast, a multi-generational discussion of movies.
Welcome to the party, pal!
I'm Ralph Quartucci.
I'm Sean Paul Murphy.
I'm Hassan.
I'm Al.
And this week we have a special guest again, Michelle Wojciechowski.
Thank you.
And we'd
it's a
like to
delight
call her
to be here.
Wojo.
Thank you.
And the movie we're going to discuss today is called Slapshot, 1977 comedy about hockey and dramedy. And Paul Newman passed away a few years ago. He would have been 92 this week, so it seems appropriate. If you want to go, and I'm wearing a green leisure suit jacket and a medallion to commemorate this movie. And if you want to see that, you need to go to our YouTube channel at Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast. So please check us out.
You have a close-up now because we have more cameras.
We have a few cameras.
And
It's a multicam setup.
And trust me, you want to see this.
This is a nice, it's an interesting shade of green. And nobody can light any cigarettes around me because I might go up in flames. So, Wojo, did you see this movie?
Yes, I saw
So
this
why
movie.
don't you give us a little description of the movie, and then we will...
You want her to, or do you want me to?
Well,
No, I want Sean to.
Okay,
because
we'll
I'm
let
just
Sean.
He's,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we'll let Sean describe the movie, and then
Let
we'll
me
go
rip
from
it
there. And then
apart.
we'll look at a movie preview, and then I guess Wojo's going to rip it apart. I just heard that.
Okay, well,
All right, let's go.
Well, first, let's say the plot is very simple. We have a failing minor league hockey team, the Charlestown Chiefs, headed up by player-coach Reg Dunlap, played by Paul Newman. They're the last place team, and as the mill that employs most of the people in the town is about to close, the team is about to go belly up, and Reg hatches a plan that he hopes that he can get the team sold to another buyer. And in the process, in order to fire up his team, they turn to violence and thuggish behavior in this 1977 drama with some comedy.
Drama. Well, there you go. I like the way you flipped that. All right.
Well,
so,
it was released. It was originally considered a drama.
Seriously? Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to show a
Yeah.
little preview, get
With
Wojo
comedy.
into it again, because I know she can't wait. So here you go. If you look to your right, or to your right.
I'm placing a personal bounty on the head of Tim McCracken.
You can't put a bounty on a man's head.
I just did.
Go get him, killer!
It's wild. It's outrageous. It's outrageously funny. Paul Newman, Coach Reggie Dunlop in this supercharged world of hockey, invites you to meet the crazies who make it that way. The players, Murderers Row. The wives, the fans, the managers.
We're losing!
Teamwork, guys. More team.
They're burying us alive!
Who are these guys?
They brought their
Toys with them!
and hustling them all, Paul Newman.
Oh, you are very clever.
Leave him. My wife left me. I was driving her crazy.
Get out! You can't make him win. You're a losing coach.
Okay, guys. Show us what you got.
Behind the comedy, the sex, the wild excitement. This is the absorbing story of one man fighting to hang on in a world gone absurd.
They don't want you to score goals. They want blood. They're booing you!
There's never been a film like Slapshot. There may never be another.
How do we want to do this? Do you want to just describe more, or does Wojo want to jump right in and
Tear it apart?
She seems to want to tear it apart. Do you want to talk about the good stuff first, or let her go at it?
Let's
All right,
let
I
her
want to
at
hear
it. She seems
because then we'll
very
break it down.
anxious. We haven't had
Okay.
her on in a while. She's built up a lot.
Okay, here's the thing. I wanted to like this movie. I really did, because I love Paul Newman, and I like movies in this kind of genre, like I think Major League is funny, and I think, you know what I mean? These kind of things.
Sports comedies.
I wanted to like it. Oh, they're downtrodden. What's going to happen? Oh, climax, and then boom, they win. I didn't give a crap when they won the.
They didn't really win it.
I know it was a forfeit, and it was. I don't think it held up well. Okay, I just don't. I mean, and I can watch movies in different times. You know what I mean? In different decades.
Yeah.
And they hold up, but I got to tell you, I just thought it was stupid. And I'm not the kind to use that kind. I'm not, I've been on here before. I'm not the type to just tear a movie down and say, this was a worthless piece of crap. But I just didn't, I wasn't offended by the misogyny because of the time period in which it was filmed.
How about the homophobia?
Oh yeah, well,
what else?
Yeah,
like when he yells at the kids, "Your son's gonna be a."
Yeah, and the little kids cursing profusely at one point.
Oh, yeah.
But if it were filmed today,
it wouldn't be. But okay,
it wouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So
it's definitely a movie in its time, literally.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I understand why women get upset with it because it is misogynistic and it is a lot of and a lot of homophobia. Whole lot. I mean, how many times they used lots of different words to refer to gay people, but it wouldn't be. You're right. It wouldn't be done today. But I just didn't feel it didn't draw me in. In fact, I fell asleep halfway through, and Brad had to wake me up and say, "You have to watch this movie to go talk about it." So I got back up and watched the end of the movie.
Did you rewind it to before you fell asleep, or did you just pick up?
No, I just kept going. Honestly, and I don't normally do. I mean, my God, I watched that 3-hour movie that everyone else watched 2 hours of.
Cinema Paradiso.
Well, okay, that certainly compensates. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've made up for it.
Well,
but
he was such a bull.
What?
Toto was such a bull.
Oh,
Toto?
yeah.
Tito.
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 No,
that's you.
But you understand, you're talking about I'm not gonna. I hear your points. It's great, but this is a classic.
Here's the thing.
This is a.
Doesn't matter.
This
people
film,
hate Gone with the Wind.
This is
true.
People. I mean,
this film was not a success when it came out.
It was actually the reviews. A lot of reviews were negative.
Yeah, but they were reviewing it for they hated it for other reasons. But basically,
why did they hate it?
Well, they hated it for two reasons. One, the language. There had already been bad language in movies, but not by Paul Newman.
Yeah.
And so this was, and the other thing was they felt that it had its cake and wanted to eat it too. Basically, the theme was decrying violence, but it was wanting to make the audience cheer at it.
Well, are you saying that it's like Natural Born Killers in that way?
Yes, exactly. It is exactly like Natural Born Killers.
If I wanted to find a movie to compare Slapshot to, Natural Born Killers, Al, would be right up there.
I know.
Along with Schindler's List and...
Okay.
No, but...
all hockey movies. Like, have you seen Goon that came out a few years ago?
No.
With the guy
Dune?
from
Is that like
Goon.
Yeah, okay.
Sean William Scott.
Yes. Same thing. It's a movie about hockey violence, and they're using hockey violence in the movie to make it interesting. But this one, you said it wasn't a comedy. You said it was a drama / comedy.
If you look at a lot of the critical reviews,
this is about Rust Belt.
Drama with comedy.
Yeah, because they're in a town that's going, the coal mine or whatever.
That would be the steel mill.
The steel mill. Where are they?
Well, it was filmed mostly in Johnstown, I think.
Yeah.
It's a steel mill.
And-
Okay,
the dog
blue
that saved
collar, Rust
Johnstown.
Belt, whatever. I mean, it's a town that's going down, and it's the economics over aren't so great. So it's kind of it's definitely in its time about that.
Well, one of the reasons I picked this film is I did a blog called Five Guy Films, and these were films that were major releases. They weren't like deliberately misogynistic or transgressive, to quote Al's word that we love to use now, but that generally, in my experience, women don't like. And this was I consider the least offensive of them. And the most one being Clockwork Orange.
Could you tell me who it was written by?
It was what? This movie?
This movie.
This movie was written by Nancy Dowd, woman.
That's a woman, right?
Yeah, who got the experience from her brother, who was the guy who ended up playing
Oglethorpe.
One of the big villains in the piece. And
so she talked to him and all the guys. He was in a minor league team like this team.
Yeah,
I think
it was the Johnstown team.
The Johnstown team.
And I think he was supposed to be in it as well, but he had some other issues that he Well, I know one of the Hanson brothers. They were supposed to have the three brothers.
They were. I read that, but the
Well,
three,
one was
so
in a
they
playoff.
had two of them,
Yeah.
right? And then so the three guys who played the Hanson brothers were actually hockey players in real life.
Most of the people in the film, I think, the guy who played Killer Dave was an actor, and the guy who played
Well, the other team, all the other teams that they kept fighting, those were like real
those
hockey
were all
players.
real hockey
Right.
players. But Nancy also apparently had her brother set a tape recorder in the locker room so that she could get the unvarnished view of
Yeah,
how the
that's what
guys
all the
talk.
misogyny and the homophobia, all that stuff came out of that.
Yeah,
probably.
but
No,
so-
listen, and Wojo, I get it. I get your
Mm-hmm.
feelings about it, but it's one of the classics that everybody, and we just
Well,
had a guest on.
Let's talk. What?
We had a guest on one podcast. What's the Night Watchman?
Yeah.
Ken Arnold played minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they were on the bus, they played Slapshot on the bus.
Yeah.
That's the only tape they would watch.
Well, and that's I get that it's a classic, and just like I said, I mean, I personally don't care that it's a classic because I wouldn't have liked it. That had nothing to do with
1977? Right,
it. And honestly, well, in 1977, I was.
Isn't Birth of a Nation a classic?
Yeah.
Just
Are
throwing
you
out.
comparing Slapshot to Birth of a Nation? You are
First
very
natural born
dark.
killers, Birth of a Nation.
That's the
I
palate
don't think that's
cleanser
a
he's
classic,
going
but
to use
okay.
for his,
Yeah.
his
Wow,
next
Birth
film.
of a Nation's going to clear it up.
Oh God, I wonder what
All right.
happen when someone
That's
picks
it. Show's
Birth of a
over.
Nation.
Just drop the mic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but let's get into a little more of the
Okay.
details of it. So, let me tell you what I like about the film.
Please do.
Okay. For one thing, I like a film that takes me into a world that I either don't care about or know nothing about. I have never watched a hockey game except that game against the Russians in the Olympics. What was that, 82?
Do you believe in miracles?
80.
Yeah, the miracle.
1980.
80. Okay. That is probably the only hockey game I have ever watched. And I think this film took me into the world of hockey in a way that I felt that I knew the world of hockey after seeing this. And
It's
Yeah.
very realistic.
it was very realistic. And also, too, unlike
Well,
Wojo,
except for the fight.
cared.
I mean, the over-the-top fighting is
Yeah.
not realistic, but okay. But it's
But
funny.
But the guy popping his teeth out, and
That's-
putting
that's
his
a real-
locker,
that's a
that
real
was
hockey-
funny.
that was a real hockey
player.
player, too.
Uh-huh.
But I also
He snuck on the set, too. He wasn't supposed to
Did
be
he?
there, yeah. I've been reading a lot about Slapshot. Some
I
great
also
books.
like the fact that I like the characterizations. This is not a heavily plotted film. It spends,
No, really?
Yeah, it spends a lot of time on the characters. To me, this movie's like Spinal Tap, because Spinal Tap was a farce.
But Spinal Tap is awesome.
Well, this is many
We know
people consider
Wojo's
this-
vote.
Yeah, but it's a farce, but you care about the characters at the end. I care about the characters. They don't necessarily need to be cared about in a sense. Paul Newman, I love Paul Newman in general. And Paul Newman has played bad guys. One of his last roles in Road to Perdition, he's going to
Yeah.
kill Tom Hanks and his son.
Yeah.
And he's played real bastards, like in HUD. That guy was a bastard, but, a user. But this is the only film, I think, where he played a character that was stupid.
Well, he
Reggie-
was stupid. He was nasty. He was misogynistic. He was homophobic. And you love him by the, but
he's
you're rooting for the guy.
He's totally driven by
Because
immediate
that's Paul
impulse. I mean, he's he's always saying he wants to get back with his wife, but he's sleeping with every girl he's had, and will
he's
not
trying
put
to
any
get the
time or
wives of
effort.
The other guys on the team,
Yeah.
the woman,
And and it works for him because he's charismatic to a degree, and although he's able to manipulate his team, because although he is kind of stupid, like his team, a lot of people on the team are even more
Well,
more
they're
stupid
dumber than he is.
Stupider.
Because they're all listening to him. If he's his dumbness is here, they're down here.
So really, there's only one guy on the team.
But he was pretty, he was dumb, but he was smart. Because the whole point of the movie is he's trying to keep them winning, keep the guys interested, because he thinks someone's going to buy the team and move them to Florida.
No. See, the thing is, he doesn't think that.
He made
He
that
makes that up, and he's
But
stupid
deep
enough
down,
to
but
believe
if he
in
didn't
himself.
think right, okay. So
He
you're
believes in
you're
himself.
wow. So you're going right there that he was so stupid. He even believed it.
He's like believing it himself.
I guess I'm
after a
dumber than
while.
he is.
So that to me, that's what is one of the part of the fascinating thing about him is that he's, I think, a unique character in the Newman canon in the sense that, because you could say one thing, some of his characters are kind of losers, like the Garvin character at the beginning of Verdict, he's
Right,
drunk
but-
and all, but
yeah.
he redeems himself. And, all this, there's always an intelligence to when he's playing them. Even when he's playing guys that, doesn't end well for him. Like Cool Hand Luke, you know. There's always an intelligence, and this is sort of like him just being, you know, a guy who's getting by on charm, you know, and
right,
you know, and some cunning, you know.
Right.
And the thing is, it almost works for him.
Well, he gets a coaching job.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
but.
He gets a coaching job. He convinced Lindsay Krause to be on his team. You know,
Yeah.
now she's on his side after you know, and the young stud that you're talking about, Michael Onkeaton, is that his name?
Sheriff Harry S. Truman, by the way, if you're a Twin Peaks fan.
He was also in the Rookies. Remember the Rookies?
No.
I think he was in the Rookies.
Well, you know, Nick.
And he's a
Nick
professional.
Nolte.
He was a professional hockey player.
Well, it was
he played in
yeah.
college.
Yeah. Well, they wanted
So
Nick
he-
Nolte for the role, but
Yeah.
Nick Nolte couldn't play hockey.
He couldn't skate.
And apparently Al Pacino and I forgot who else was up
Peter
for it.
Strauss, remember him? Rich Man,
Yeah.
Poor Man. He broke his leg in the practicing.
Yeah, but Al Pacino, they were
Yeah.
looking at him for Dunlop, but he couldn't skate either.
He didn't like. He said something that I read that where the director asked him to do something, and how do you expect me to do that? He'd be backed out of the thing.
Yeah.
Paul Newman was perfect for this.
Yeah, he was perfect.
Okay,
You
because he
needed
could
that
get away
kind of
with
charm.
He could his charm. If you're saying you're right, he was stupid. He was all these other things, but it was because of his charm that you liked that character.
Yeah.
Because of Paul
But-
Newman.
I'm not
He
sure
al-
that I ever liked the character.
How
though.
could you not like Reggie Dunlap?
I don't know. I just
Wow.
I
didn't really like
him
anything.
either.
The only characters I liked were the Hanson brothers.
We need this win, you know. We got a lot of losses.
Yeah, we got a lot. Let's start making it for it. Start winning. Go to the top, not the bottom. That's what we're here for, guys, to win.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was the only reason to watch
that makes
this movie.
sense. The Hanson brothers.
Yeah.
Well,
They became the
They
most
brought
popular.
their toys with
Yeah, they're effing toys. They're still doing movies, those three.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is Paul Newman convinced everyone that he was still capable of being a minor league hockey player when he was the age of 52 when he made this movie.
Well, you don't remember who was Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe
Yeah.
was a player coach, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Gordie
I think
Howe
so.
But
had
did they let him
was,
play
let's
that
make a
long?
deal.
I don't know. It's a movie,
You
right?
make
Of course.
stuff up. Wait a
Who
minute.
makes
Wait a
stuff
minute.
up?
Wait a
Paul,
minute.
I do.
Yes.
She figured it out. Damn it.
I don't think
I
he was
didn't figure it
quite
out.
that old.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait,
So
there
you're
was a
trying
hockey
to-
player named Gordie Howe. though.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
But,
And I
okay.
think he was a player coach. Not at 53.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's my point.
How old
But
was Paul
it's-
Newman in this
he
movie? How old was he
Paul
playing?
Newman was born in what, 1926?
How old was Reggie Dunlop in the
No,
movie?
21. He was born in 1921. So he's
77,
He
so
was
he's 50.
born in 25 because I looked
Yeah,
it
so
up.
Yeah.
53, right. But
Yeah, so
what
he
was the
was-
age
yeah.
of the guy in the movie?
Less than 53.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's
But he
still
still
throwing at
looked good.
40 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're going to talk about Tom Brady, I got to leave.
No, I just did. So. I didn't make that up. He's going to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to edit that part
No,
out.
we're not.
Okay.
So Pittsburgh. Go, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I like this introduction into the world
Of hockey.
of hockey, which I didn't care about,
And it was a farcical look into the world of hockey.
yeah.
I mean, there was some realism, but the fighting and all that. There's no way.
I really liked a lot of the
Like, you think the
little
Hanson brothers
touches.
would last 4 minutes doing
No,
what
they
they
were
did?
really in it. The one.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Yeah.
saying as hockey players, if they did what they did, you think they'd be
Not in the modern game, I don't think.
not in the old game either.
Are you sure?
I'm making everything up, so I don't know.
This was minor league. This is like
My whole
fourth
belief
year.
system's in shot.
This is a minor league team,
Yes, okay.
And I tell you what, I like the sports films. I tend to like the ones set in the minor league because, if you look at the group of characters in this film, taken in a literal way, only the Michael O'Keaton character and the goalie are guys who have an upward trajectory.
They're right.
They're everybody else on this team
This
has
is the
reached
biggest
the
thing.
pinnacle.
This is
like
the
when they
biggest thing in
announced
their
the team
lives.
is
They're all
leaving,
going
the one
back,
guy
right.
goes, Chrysler plant.
Here I come.
Here I
Right,
come.
right. Right.
Except Michael O'Keaton, but of course he's had an education. Or as they introduced them, he's an
College
educated
boy.
And he's
You
been
left
he's an
Princeton.
American citizen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the odd thing about him is that he's an American. Yeah, I hear he played all Princeton. Well, that's what it said in the yearbook. So and he's sort of like he really wants to make good in hockey at any cost of his marriage, say, and he has the values that Reggie sort of subscribes to. I think he respects him to a degree. In the end, he goes and apologizes to him, and says, let's make this good. And of course, the apology doesn't work because as soon as it fits his self-interest, he's completely impulse-driven. When they find out there are scouts there, They'd like to just go totally.
Right, goes right back into it.
Yeah, it goes right back into it. You know, so Reggie really has no sustaining values. You know?
I think that's why he's not a likable character.
Well, no, I think he's likable because
Yet when
I
Paul
know
Newman
people like
Paul
him.
Newman passed away,
Yeah,
there were obituaries everywhere for Reggie
Dunlop. Yeah.
So whatever this character has.
I think it was his platform shoes.
Okay, whatever. I love the shoes. His, we can
Oh, I
talk
love
about
the leather suit.
The leather suit with the fur on the collar. His car. What was that car he was driving? Was that a Cutlass? The brown Cutlass?
No, I remember what it was. I can't.
That he drives
It was
everywhere.
a Pontiac.
Yeah,
wasn't
maybe
it?
Pontiac.
Yeah, it looked the back end.
So
looked
he's
like a
sustained.
I thought it was a Gran Torino.
He is sustained.
No, that's
And
a
the
Clint
legacy-
Eastwood film.
Yeah.
Gran Torino. The legacy of this movie has sustained as well.
Yeah, the
'Cause
film has
people-
actually grown more popular.
More
over
popular.
time. Over time.
More popular. Hate to say it, Wojo, but it's become more popular. This movie.
Hey,
It's insane.
There are people without taste everywhere. So.
Wow.
Like guys that wear polyester suits.
Hey, call it what you want. I'm sweating over here. It's,
Another thing
this material doesn't breathe.
Now, I tried to show this film to my wife. Like, I tried to show her the DVD. She wouldn't watch it. Tried to show her once on television. She sat down to watch it, but it was edited. All the language was bleeped. I said, "We're not watching this."
And all the good music was taken out too. I'm sure.
And then
all the
so
disco.
finally,
and
I got the Blu-ray and the thing up, and she watched it. And oddly enough, she got into it. But what she got into it is something I always enjoyed about this movie was the period. Because she came from Ohio.
It nailed the period.
Yes.
She grew up in the steel mill area.
That is the one thing I really liked about this movie. Is even though I wasn't.
Wait a minute. That's the one thing you liked about the movie?
One of the things.
Okay.
I like the period. I mean, I wasn't born in the 70s, but like there was a significant hangover period up into the 90s in Pittsburgh from like the whole economic downturn. So I really like seeing the steel mills and everything is like super nostalgic for me because I remember like seeing them torn down and all that stuff. So it was it kind of felt like home in a way. And also as far as like the language goes, like I don't want to bring Trump up, but that's like locker room talk. I mean, that's like, I heard that kind of language like in school, like in the locker room and stuff like that.
So did I, from the nuns.
I use that kind of language all the time.
Except you.
So I think, just for me, I think this is a fairly...
No, the language was on, she wrote it based on what her brother, like you said, recorded in the thing.
But
so it's
for me, it's just a fairly...
The misogyny was in its time, the homophobia was in its time. I wouldn't even, I don't know.
His wife's a lesbian. Does that make him gay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know. And then the guy's like,
he's so
I
upset.
don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make
No, there's some questionable humor going on in here, but I think like Al just said, it's in its locker room.
Yeah.
And the one scene that I winced a little is when he has the confrontation with the owner.
Yeah, and then yells at the son.
He doesn't yell at the son. He yells about the son.
Yeah, he's going to turn
He's
out
going to be
gay.
he's going to be right.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be something in his mouth by the time he's done.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But he was pissed. He was pissed that she, was telling him we're not going to do anything. So, I give Reggie that one.
He didn't see this coming because he was stupid.
Well,
really, you got to take he was stupid.
There is one thing I did find interesting about this movie. Seriously. One thing I found interesting, and maybe it was because of the time period, is the music that they had in the movie was popular music from that era, as opposed to like there wasn't, a bus is going down the street, with the what did they call the supporters?
The Booster Club.
The Booster Club.
Yeah.
Thanks. And they weren't playing like some kind of music. They were playing.
No, they had a
songs.
full music disco track on this.
I don't believe they had a score in this movie. Did you hear anything, Al?
I didn't hear anything.
I don't think there was any
I heard that
original
one
music
song.
other than with the organ.
Oh yeah, the organ guy. What was that?
No
Lady
lady
in
in Spain. That came out of nowhere.
Funny.
That was funny.
That was funny.
No lady in Spain.
Yeah,
And who's the drummer for the
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stone? Who's that drummer?
Charlie Watts.
He's in the movie.
Is he?
There's a scene where they're in a hotel
Where they're only looking at the drummer.
One band is playing the drummers right in the
He's the
middle.
best looking member of the band.
He's
Because
in
they
it.
aren't
Is that
showing
really
you.
Charlie
Yeah,
Watts?
I think
Now
so.
gotta-
I read.
Now when I go home,
Yeah.
I'm
He's
going to have to go.
watch
You
it
gotta
again.
watch it.
I got to watch it again.
Well, Sean, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I
Now,
do.
did
Just
I
like
lie
Birth
about
of a
that? I
Nation.
did not lie about that. I don't lie. I just maybe.
Sometimes he's
Is this a
So-
classic
so
or a
there
cult
was-
classic?
Cult? No, it's a classic.
It's a cult.
This is not a cult classic.
Okay.
So would this be on like the American movie 100?
I bet it is. I bet I have a quote, 100 quotes up there. I bet Old Time Hockey's probably on that somewhere.
Yeah.
Old Time Hockey, coach.
Yeah.
So I bet it is. Now, When it went on TV, they got rid of the music track.
Yeah,
and
'cause they
replaced it
didn't
with
sign-
they
replaced it
probably
with
couldn't
Bargain
afford it.
Basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 25th
They didn't.
anniversary, which is this one right here, they added the music back in, the original music that was supposed to be in the show. Although I don't think they dropped that. What's the song that they sing every time the bus goes by? You said
Right
Maxine
back
Waters.
where we started
Yeah.
from by Maxine Nightingale.
Yeah. Maxine Nightingale.
Which we
So
only
I said
hear
Maxine
about.
Waters.
Yeah, Maxine Waters. Before she
problem
went
with
to
me.
Congress.
Yeah.
This song
You know, one
propels her
Maxine,
into
talking
a
about?
political career.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You know, so
But
you're not going to call him out on that, are you?
What?
That it was Maxine
Waters.
that
Yeah, I'm
did that song.
trying to
What?
bamboozle
I don't
everybody.
care.
Yeah. No, I mean it was incorrect.
I was making a joke. I'm going to quote Pretty in Pink. It's
You know
called
what?
a sense of humor. You should
You know
get
what?
one.
Did
They're
I
nice.
didn't even take offense. He's
Yeah,
having
no,
trouble.
no.
He's trying to protect me. I appreciate that. I appreciate
This is
that.
our little round.
I thought you brought me on here so I could be, I could speak
That's why
my
we-
mind.
Absolutely.
I want to know what you think about how the Paul Newman's ex-wife, changed Sheriff Harry S. Truman's wife into a hockey wife, and why that was okay.
She had to get with the program. And she got with the program when she saw her husband do that heroic act of taking all his clothes off and doing the striptease. He didn't give in, did he?
Which fit right in.
He didn't give, because his whole point was, I'm not going to give in to the brutality that you guys are doing. And he completely flipped
If you're
it.
going to make it
The
hockey,
best part of
joke.
that scene is when the guy up in the booth is screaming about, what? How can we be looking at this? This isn't hockey. There's something wrong with these people. This is disgusting. We got to get the kids out of here.
Oh, I'm certainly glad Mrs. Carr isn't here tonight, because this is certainly a lascivious display.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah.
was great. And was he the precursor to all these movies like Major League, where you have the guys up in the booth commenting on what's going on? I think Slapshot might have been the first one that had a guy up in the booth as comic relief doing the shtick that he was
Apparently,
doing.
real hockey players call a lot of bad reporters Dickie Dunn.
Dickie
Like,
Dunn.
that
If they
guy's
get a
real
bad
Dickie
story,
Dunn.
they call him.
that's
That's
funny.
Emmett
Yeah.
Walsh playing Dickie Dunn.
Yeah.
And they say he Dickie Dunned me.
Well, I like
Hockey
it that
players
Dick
specifically.
went in the first game, and they're like, and the Chiefs are down 3-0, and Dickie like, no, 2-0. Let's not make it any worse.
Can't make it
Well,
any
I'm
worse.
going to answer Al's question.
Yeah.
If I were interpreting it for today, would I think that was offensive? Yeah, I'd be like, oh my God, seriously? We got to talk to this woman. But I'll tell you, because of the time in which it was made, my mom, my late mom used to tell me stories when she got married, which was early 60s. The priest told her, now, because they had to do this pre-Cana thing and blah. And the priest told her, you guys you women have to realize that men are going to want to watch their football and their baseball, and you need to bring them food and just stay in the background. Find something to do. Take up a hobby, but don't ever keep your man from. So it was the time period. If somebody told me that today, after I stopped laughing hysterically,
Well, what game?
Why
is
did
on?
I get married Protestant? This is just wrong.
Which game is on now? What?
Yeah.
Not the Super Bowl.
I'm just.
We're not talking about.
Of course,
that
this is a
game.
movie so in its time. It's perfect for 1977. I'm not saying. I mean, that whole scene with her. She was like a mouse through the whole movie, right?
No, she was angry through the whole movie.
But I'm saying she the way she was
But
dressed.
I don't understand why her changing like that would make her less angry and okay with.
She
what
caught
was
him.
going
I
Reggie-
don't
Reggie
think
convinced
she
her.
was.
No.
No, she was not. Reggie's like, my wife got a divorce and she's much better. So essentially, she was preparing for the single life. I think that's what freed her up. At least that's what I got
And that's
out of
why
it.
she got the makeover.
Yeah,
So
it was
she got the makeover.
that's the makeover was done by Reggie's ex-wife.
Yeah, I know.
It was like, look, divorce is great. Let me tell you what happens. She even Lindsay Krause, as she's walking, she goes, I feel ridiculous looking like this. She's acknowleding that.
Oh, I missed that line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were sleeping or whatever, but she
No,
made
I was
a
the one who
comment-
fell asleep
Oh,
during the
yeah, sorry.
movie.
She made a comment that this is ridiculous, and she only flipped when her husband pulled the striptease.
Yeah,
that
she
he
was
did.
not doing this for him.
It was all for her. No, it was for her.
Not for her. For him.
But when she saw the husband not dive in and do the striptease, she was like, "Oh my God, he's my guy." And then she totally, got in with Reggie.
Yeah.
Now she's, Reggie, stupid Reggie, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. But
Well,
now
Reggie wins
Now
in
they're
the
in the
end.
parade together. By the way, the parade You can't have a car go in front of the parade
know.
like that.
That's where I drew the line.
Yeah,
That's right at the end.
that movie's just fake right there.
Sean,
You can't
it's
have
a classic.
It is a classic.
It's a
Well, that
Wait,
reduces it to cult classic.
As Ralph says, it's a movie. It's a movie. You have to suspend your.
Oh, I love that you're quoting me. I love that.
I quote you too, but not in front of you. I don't want to build up your ego.
I get
much.
it, but you can't have a car in front of a parade like that, and with her U-Haul
Yes.
strapped to the back, and she's leaving.
If you put some,
But anyway,
crowns
she
on
was
it or, like,
she was a
people
strong
juggling.
woman in the movie, the ex-wife.
Yeah.
because she said, "I'm done with you."
Well, she basically said, "I can't imagine you outside of hockey. There's there's nobody there, So she knows, and he says he wants to get back with her, but his behavior shows that no, he really doesn't. He'd like to be with her when he wants to be there, but.
Well, I like that they also made the female and male characters both good and bad. Like even the woman who ends up owning, she was kind of a dick because she was only doing it for tax purposes and didn't care about all the human stuff going on. Some of the women in the crowd, there were women close-ups, cutaways. We talk about cutaways all the time. They show it for a specific reason. When the fighting's going on, it's the old ladies that are up, cheering and everybody. So everybody had
the
equal.
old ladies looking at him.
When he does the striptease, now it's the old ladies, hey, So, and the guys, remember, it's the best part of that scene is, as all the guys are fighting, he starts a striptease. Yeah. And they're all stopping, going, "Ref, you got to stop this. This is just, this isn't hockey. This is disgusting." They're all bloody and come on, classic. Classic.
Classic. Or is it called classic?
No, I say classic. Not
I say cult classic.
Cult? No, why? Is it a niche? It's not a niche.
Hassan, you have been generally quiet on this one.
He hasn't seen it. Have you heard about
I've never heard of Slapshot.
Really?
Until this podcast.
Be happy. I can't get those 2 hours and 3 minutes of my life back.
Wow, I don't know. That's it's tough words.
Oh my God, they're never going to invite me back again.
Oh, no.
Yes, not.
You should have seen. People were coming to blows on the last two shows.
No, this was
Mother.
No,
Mother
disagreement's fine. I don't have a problem
point.
with that. But it is a classic, not a cult classic. Cult means it's
Well,
a
Joe,
niche.
can I
This
let
isn't
you in on a
niche.
secret?
Yes.
I was hoping you wouldn't like it.
You know what?
What?
I knew you were hoping I
Okay,
didn't
name.
like it. I said
there
that
any?
to Brad on the way down. I said, I hated this movie, and I know that's why Sean wants
Are
me
there any sports movies you?
But I
wanna-
would make you see Mother.
Do you like sports movies?
Yeah.
Okay, name a couple that you like, just so I get it. So I can get the bar set, so I know where we're.
I liked Major League.
Okay.
You
Good
know,
one. I like that
I
one.
was in Major League 2. If you look
So you
real
must
quick,
love that one.
you see,
Oh,
Major
wow.
League 2 was awful, actually.
Well,
but,
no,
but I was
that
in
one.
it.
Okay.
What?
You know.
I thought you redeemed it.
Major League 3 Back to the Minors was worse. They used fake balls in that one. Those were
CGI balls?
Those were CGI balls for the baseballs. I mean,
Okay.
CGI baseballs.
So you like while they're playing the game.
Yeah. So you like Major League?
Yes, I like I love the Sandlot, but that's
Okay, that's
kids.
no, that's
Rookie
good,
of the
though.
year.
Is that the one with the arm? Yeah. Okay.
Bull Durham? Or is
Yeah, I like Bull Durham.
It sounds like a concession.
So what?
No, it was a movie I didn't remember.
Is it the misogyny and the homophobia and the swearing, or is it the hockey, or is it all of it?
I think it's the bad plot line.
I exactly.
Bad plot. It was
exactly.
I don't get the bad plot line. What was not clear about
classic minor league?
Yeah. What's not clear about the plot line?
For some reason, and maybe it was.
What part did you fall asleep in? Do you remember where?
Do you remember when I fell asleep?
Where'd you fall asleep? We're looking.
We were probably a little past halfway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you missed the big plot point then.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
The whole
thing that was going to hold the movie together.
If you think I'm going to rewatch
the whole meaning behind Reggie, you missed the whole thing. No one. Okay,
I'm going to watch the whole movie again just to see Charlie Watts.
You're fine. No, now I see why. No. So
I just there were certain times where scenes changed so quickly. Like I didn't feel like they had concluded a particular scene and it was like shoom and suddenly we're here and zoom and suddenly we're here. And that was not because I was falling asleep. That was because it didn't do it for me.
Oh, okay, that's
totally
fine. That's fine.
Could I say one thing about the
questioning
editing of the film?
The editing?
Yeah.
You know who edited it, don't you, Ralph? Dee Dee Allen.
Who's Dee Dee Allen?
What?
No, seriously.
No, she was like one of the best editors in Hollywood. She's a female. She was the top editor at the
Did
time.
not know that.
And she's the one who came up with the great quote from one of editing's greatest quotes. If you can't solve it, dissolve it.
Oh, can't resolve, dissolve? That's
If
her?
you can't solve it, dissolve it.
Oh,
yeah.
I
She was
know
one of
that.
the top editors in the business.
So written by a woman, edited by a woman,
Yeah.
directed by George Roy Hill.
Who was a great director.
Great director. Sundance.
Still don't like it.
Butch Cassidy. No. I'm not trying
The
to.
Sting?
Believe me. I'm not trying to.
I like
Funny Farm.
Oh, you did Funny Farm?
I didn't see Funny Farm.
I love Funny Farm.
Oh, you love Funny
I do.
Farm.
That's Chevy Chase,
I did
right?
like
That's-
the sting.
With the
I
whole,
just
with the
can't
whole town
believe-
turns on him.
Yeah, I can't believe he went
is
out on
Funny
Funny
Farm the one where he
goes in
is
the country?
writer?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
eats
that was
the,
funny.
he eats Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
No, that's the Great Outdoor.
No,
that's Funny
right.
Farm.
That was in
That's
the
it.
Great Outdoor.
And then
that was
his
a
wife
mistake.
the whole
gets
town-
that taxidermied
Yeah.
thing.
And the mailman's always,
Really angry because he has to drive 20 miles.
So that's
out
a
of the
fun
way.
one. So no, I don't mind that you don't like it. That's complete. It's actually good because I want to get some different opinions about it.
But I didn't like it. The reasons I didn't like it were not probably what you expected.
Maybe.
I appreciate any reason you don't like it, though. I just want you to know.
What's your quote?
did
Your quote is
not.
always, "Why did you watch the movie?" Or "What's the point?" What did you keep saying? You keep saying, "What's the point? Why are you watching it then?"
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah, but no, I
Because I was coming here to talk.
Oh,
That is
I know.
the
It's
only
homework. I
reason.
don't mean. I mean in general. Why does anybody watch?
that
a
wasn't
movie?
enough to get Hassan to watch it.
I know. Well, Hassan's had a tough week. Tough week.
Have you had a tough week, Hassan?
It was okay.
He had to send his girl to San Francisco. So
We're gonna edit that part out.
No,
we're not.
Edit out the sad parts.
No, because the girls
So,
who watch
I
the
just want-
podcast will know that
I want to
Hassan
explain.
could be free.
I want to
shut
explain.
up.
I want to explain why he's yawning
And
on camera.
suddenly, this is not Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast. It's turned into like Tinder or Match.com.
Hey, no, not at all.
Not at all.
Throw it into YouTube, see what he looks like. later.
Next week he's coming in without a shirt and oil. But and I tell you, I've already seen him like that.
Listen, I think the reason this movie is for a lot of people, it's the Hanson brothers.
Yeah.
It's the Hanson. Everybody knows. When you
they
say
were
the
funny.
Hanson brothers, everybody knows. When you say old-time hockey coach, everybody knows who you're talking about. They even usurped Reggie Dunlap. I mean, their
Putting the
popularity
foil on.
is...
You want some?
Well,
Putting the foil
Yeah,
on.
foil.
Yeah.
The
Now,
foil
you
and
played
slot
hockey.
cars.
Yeah. The slot they brought, those are their own cars.
Yeah.
That was their own toys.
Yeah.
They brought that suitcase full of toys. The actors. So everybody knows who they are, and I think
But Ralph, it's a movie.
What? You keep saying that.
Because I said something that I didn't think was realistic, and you said, "But Wojo, it's a movie." So every time you tell something that does not
you
work,
cannot flip that on me. That's not fair. Can't do that.
See, I pay attention to what you say. These guys have learned how to.
God. Yeah,
You've learned to tune
Tone
it
me
out.
out. You've toned me out, you guys.
After you listen to a couple of these, it becomes really easy.
Wow. I didn't realize. Is it the suit? Is it the green suit? You guys can't.
No, it's actually helping.
Oh, okay.
I'm impressed that you dressed for the time period.
Well, I love this movie, and I love Reggie
My
Dunlap,
wife loved
even though
the
he's-
clothes
even
in
though
it.
he's stupid.
Everyone in Youngstown
I mean, the
dressed
clothes.
like
Ralph,
that.
what's your favorite scene in this film?
There's a couple. I think when he first lets the Hanson brothers go on their line, when he says it's your turn, get on the line.
Okay, guys, show us what you got.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
I thought that was great. Then I also like the scene where he goes up into Strother Martin's, the guy who owns it, and
the manager.
He kind of blackmails him with the scene he saw, where he says, I
I
saw
remember
you.
we were drunk. And
Yeah, you were drunk and you were coming
whatever.
on to me and you were in the lacy and I haven't said anything and he's trying to get, I forget what he was trying to get.
I'm more open to that sort of thing
right.
now.
Because I don't do that, but I'm open to it. I thought that scene was good that he flipped it on his manager.
But you know,
like
at
that.
the end of the day, I just think about girls. You
Right.
know? I mean, I'm in the locker room all the time, and
then the scene also when they're losing that last game, we talked about it, and they're in the locker room, and Reggie's sitting there dejected, and he goes, "Old time hockey, let's just keep going, old time hockey," and then Strother Martin, I keep saying it's Joe something, I forget his name. There's coaches out there, you guys, people are watching. Dunlap sits up, and then they immediately hard cut to the fights.
Big rally is period. Big rally. We're losing! Teamwork, guys. More teamwork. They're burying us alive!
Eddie Shore?
Oh, piss on Eddie Shore.
Old-time hockey?
Piss on old-time hockey. You're blowing it. Boys, every scout in the NHL is out there tonight with contracts in their pocket. They come here tonight to scout the Chiefs. the Federal League. Not this. Scouts?
There's no in between. They go right from him perking up to guys pounding each other on the ice. I thought that was a nice.
My favorite
transition.
fight was when they're sending out, when they're just skating around to practice, and the Hanson brothers getting in a fight. There's nobody to stop it because
There's
the
no
officials,
refs. There's no
there are no
refs
refs out. And then when they're doing the national anthem, the ref is just furious.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he keeps turning.
Yeah, he keeps turning. Then he goes up to,
Hey,
I
the
don't want to
song,
hear anything.
the song.
Yeah, listen to the song.
Right.
And the guy
So, and that's the Hanson brothers. You
Yeah.
know, they really, I think they set the tone for the movie, and I think that's what most people probably took away was those guys. And the scenes where they're slamming guys up against the boards, and you're seeing the pads, the gloves just squeaking down the side of the thing as they're getting hit. I mean, it's stuff.
Now
like
you've
that.
played hockey, right?
I didn't play.
You're from Massachusetts.
I played a couple pickup games.
He is
yeah.
in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Baseball, not hockey. But yeah, I played some hockey. My town was a big hockey town, Stoughton, Massachusetts. We had a hockey team, so it was big.
What was the name of the team?
The Knights, Stoughton Knights. But yeah, I was around them all the time, and they, what you hear is that's hockey. That's what they talked about, and that's how they talked in the locker room. I'm sure not as bombastic and misogynistic as they're going. They ramped it up quite a bit.
It
But,
might be.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
no,
know.
honestly,
I
it
wasn't in there.
depends.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying for the guys, high school guys, but yeah, I was around it. So hockey was pretty important. When this movie came out, it was my junior year of high school, so it was right. We were all dressing. Disco was around. It was crazy shit. You can't believe. And the movie nailed it. They nailed the hockey. Now the fighting obviously is over the top to make a point.
No,
This was my sophomore
Really?
year.
A little bit.
This was how come it's your junior year,
77.
my
I
sophomore
graduated
year?
I don't know. I graduated in '79, so doesn't that maybe I was?
I graduated in '79 too.
Yeah, see, there
Then
you
how
go.
come I'm the baby boomer?
Well, we
and
had
you're the generation.
We had to.
Butthole.
Because you were born in '60. I lie about everything. You were born in '60,
Yeah.
right? I was '61. That's how we made.
Yeah.
that money.
Actually,
I was
Gen
held
X
back a
is
year.
65 and
It's my
up.
podcast. I did.
I was
find-
actually held back from kindergarten.
I did
but
find a
couldn't find my
Google,
shoes.
a Google to back me up. I found a Google post about
You
Gen
can
Xers.
Google enough stuff and you'll find
Maybe I
something
changed.
to back
Maybe
you
I
up.
changed it in Wikipedia.
I
Then
was going to
Googled
say,
it.
was it a Wikipedia?
I'm Gen X. All right.
I could be
That's
Gen
it.
X.
We can all be Gen X.
No, they weren't.
I'm
even
Gen
born.
X.
So
You're Gen
Spirit
X.
in spirit.
We need your millennial here, man.
Oh, I know. This would have been nice, but
I don't even know how to use a phone.
He is our social director, social media director. How's that going?
But there, I do like. One of my favorite scenes is when he's trying to give his first. He manipulates Dave into punching that guy and getting in a fight. Killer Dave.
Yeah, Killer Dave.
In the
Killer,
most
just killer, just
transparent
killer.
way. He looks sad. Well, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. But you have a certain look of sadness on your face. And then he gets into the fight. Then he's trying to rouse up the guys, and Braden's just there watching because he knows exactly what he's doing. He's like, and Dave stood up. Dave did it, but Dave can't do it anymore. Who's going to do it now? And Braden just goes, is the answer Jesus? That always cracks me up, But Braden just,
No,
and
Braden
like the
knew
older
what-
guys saw through it too, but they jumped in when it was starting.
And
successful.
Braden would agree with you. He knew Reggie Dunlop was stupid.
Yeah,
And he called him out on it every time.
Yeah.
And he looked at him every time. Braden was making all the money. If you watch through the whole movie, he's playing poker.
Yeah.
He's the agent for the Canadian goalie.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make money there. Yeah. He made a bet. What was the bet? They bet some TV show that was on.
Oh, yeah,
Who am I going to thank? The guys back at the office or
Yeah.
their wife?
Yeah.
I'd like
Right?
to thank the guys at the office.
Yeah.
You know
Right,
what? I love that because of the bowling. Because every town, well, at least in Baltimore, we had bowling shows.
My dad used to watch bowling on Saturday
Oh,
afternoons.
great. Bowling shows are great.
Bowling for dollars.
Awful. Well, my dad was on one of those, either Bowling for Dollars or Pin Busters. I don't know.
Did he call it Pin
I was in-
Busters? Yeah.
I was in 4th grade and got to sit in the audience, and I was wearing all pink, and the host introduced me as his son, and I was like, okay.
Was that 1977? When was that?
Actually, it was probably 76 or
There you go.
77.
Boom.
I was in grade school. But two of the things I was going to mention. One, The third guy who played the Hanson brother,
Yeah.
who he was originally supposed to play Killer.
Yeah.
And his name is actually Hanson.
Yeah, it's funny.
The actor's name
Yeah.
is Hanson.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And then one of
He
the
wrote a
other
book,
two.
too. He wrote a book.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
You read that book?
I have not read the book.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wrote
But
it.
you realize that's a book and it's related to this classic.
Well, there's another one. I just saw one, the making of Slapshot, that it's pretty interesting. There were a lot of reviews that came out. Frank DeFord, Sports Illustrated, hated it. Said it's going to make hockey, they're making hockey look bad. Gene Siskel didn't like it, gave it a bad review.
Ebert didn't give it a review. So
No review. I
read
looked for it. Didn't
Yeah.
look. Gene Siskel didn't like it. It was on David Letterman in 90-something, and Letterman asked, are there any reviews you've watched, any reviews that you wish you had changed? He immediately said Slapshot. Saw it 2 weeks after I did my review, and I wish I hadn't done the first review.
Well,
so it's
and
a great movie.
that's true. That's something that my husband and I have talked about. Sometimes you'll watch a movie, and depending on, like, I was really overtired when I watched the movie. And because I usually don't, I do fall asleep during movies. But anyway, I digress. Sometimes when you've watched a certain movie, depending on the week you had, the day you had, and maybe I'm thinking not with this one necessarily, but with other movies.
Of course.
No.
Okay, whatever.
No.
That's fine.
I'm sure I will like
Okay.
other movies that you idolize, but but there are times where I'll watch the movie. I mean, honestly, it took me a while to like Spinal Tap. Brad had me watch it when we were dating. I was like, this is such a stupid movie.
Oh, I love that instantly.
And then I watched it a second time, and I fell asleep during that one. And then the third time I watched it, I was like, I really like this movie. So sometimes it takes a couple times
I
to
understand
watch
that.
it.
So you're going to watch Slapshot again? I think that's a no.
If you want me to tell the truth, or if you want me to appease you.
No appease. No, it's fine. No, I'm not even. It's totally cool.
Don't worry, women never appease them.
Ain't that the truth?
I probably wouldn't. But actually, one of the other guys who played one of the Hanson
hate all of
brothers
you.
was Wayne Gretzky's.
Two of them are actually brothers, right?
I know.
The two,
Yes,
okay.
two of them, and there was supposed to be three brothers. Well, one of the two brothers, I don't know which one, was Wayne Gretzky's roommate.
And he got a pro contract and couldn't do the movie or something.
No,
One of the guys.
there was the third one. There were three of them.
One of the guys who was actually in the movie when he was coming up was Wayne Gretzky's roommate.
Oh.
I just like to throw fun facts in that I read
awesome.
when I'm looking up other stuff.
So they were actual hockey players,
Yeah.
the Hanson brothers. They weren't just,
Well, and they probably had to be if they were
think
filming
all of them,
to
like
be...
even Paul Newman had to learn. Paul Newman looked pretty good skating. He looked
Yeah.
good, and obviously Michael Keaton, I don't know how to say his name, minor league hockey or college hockey player, so he knew what he was doing. All those guys looked pretty
That's
good.
what the yearbook said.
That's what the yearbook said. And a lot of it was just laying around fighting. They didn't really. I mean, there was a lot of skating, but not not 100% of it. So anyway, I it's one of those that sticks with me. Again, I saw it, I guess, my sophomore year, maybe not my junior year, but doesn't matter. 1977. Love the music in it. I did for some reason all those.
Did you like that Maxime song or Second on Your Nerves by the end?
No, that song, when I hear that on the radio, that song reminds
me of the film.
back
to this song, brings me back to that
the
year.
Bus and the hanging the moons out of the bus and all the stuff they were doing. It's all there.
I like the music. I mean, it reminds me of being a little kid.
Yeah.
Seriously, you go through that, and I can. It was cool that was the music provided.
But I think this team,
each
the Charlestown
year,
Chiefs,
the environment brings me back to this movie more than anything else. The time of it,
it puts you right back in that.
Well, and honestly, if we were to watch a movie that was very 80s centric, I would say the same thing, because when we're in high school, there are certain things that just bring us back.
Yeah.
So.
I will say one of the things I liked most about Stranger Days. I mean, what is Stranger? Not Stranger Days. Stranger Things.
Netflix
is the 80s. I mean,
well, they did that in It too, didn't It do that?
Yeah,
It went for that 80s vibe with the kids on the bikes in the neighborhood.
Well, they had they had one great detail, because I was in this cult called the Amway once, and they.
I'd like to invite you over. Why? Oh, don't worry about it. Just come over.
Yeah.
You actually admit to that?
Yeah. Oh, I love to tear those people a new one every chance I get. But at one time, there was a box.
Is that a ring?
Yeah. There was a
ring for cults.
I forgot. What do we ring the bell for?
Name dropping. We haven't been doing it now.
There's not a lot of...
Oh, I can name drop.
Okay, well,
you're not going to be working with like Rick Springfield, are you?
I'm going to be interviewing Rick Springfield.
What?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
General Hospital.
I wish I was Jesse's girl. Is it I wish I was Jesse's girl?
I wish that I had Jesse's girl.
Yeah. You know, but
it'd be a whole different song if he were singing "I Wish That I Was Jesse's Girl."
That would be more for today, I think.
It would be. It would be highly accepted today.
But the thing about the Stranger Things was they had an Amway box. Now, it didn't have the Amway logo on it, and it was sideways. So it's like the art director who put it there, which, you know, who would have recognized it? It was like in the corner of a shot. It just had the little 2 red lines, that Amway box
but
that you deliver to distributor.
They do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and it was so great.
That you have to pay attention.
I took a screen grab of it and put it on Facebook. I was
That's
so
where I'm
excited
totally, I would geek out. Yeah.
With what? I'm sorry?
Stranger Things.
Oh. Stranger Things. You know, so I mean, I loved it. It was, you know, I was not a teenager in there, but it was definitely.
I think that harkens back
that early period.
But doesn't Stranger Things get you to Spielberg 80s movies and the Goonies and all that? It's that whole
Stand by Me.
Period. Stand by Me.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, but this movie, you're right. The one thing this movie does is puts me right back into 1977 high school. Mm-hmm. It really does. It set the music, the whole vibe, the hockey obviously puts me right back there.
Another thing I like about this is very nice characterizations of the smaller characters. And one thing I never noticed until I deliberately watched for this, you know, the good-looking guy who's always obviously looking in the mirror or this.
The Swede or whatever.
The David Bowie guy.
Yeah, but the funny thing about him is he does not have a line of dialogue in the entire film.
He says nothing.
He says nothing. There's one point where a lot of people are talking, and I was looking to see if he was talking at that time, but he has no specific line of dialogue, but he's indelible. Right. He's easily recognizable, but he doesn't have a. And you know they did that deliberately. I'm sure they did not have the lines, and they just the film's too long. Let's cut him out.
Maybe they just didn't want to pay him.
Yeah. Now
give him extra rates.
He would still be a principal with that man. But you can imagine the director walking up to him, George Earl Hill, saying, "You know, here's the joke. Your guy, you know, is self-absorbed and vain, and." He's like, "Oh, great." And then it's like, "But you never have a line of dialogue." The whole film? Nope, never. I'm sure that was not an easy sell. And then there's a really crass guy. It's like,
and I read something.
Get some snacks down
by the pool in FLA.
Yeah, and you know this bar up here? I read the barmaid list.
When I read to the IMDb, he's the one person who I've read that said he regrets some of the stuff he did in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody else, everybody to a person. Paul
Is that the guy in Sister Act 2? Is that
I think he is. I think he is. You're right.
Yeah, I looked him up too.
Everybody to a person.
You know where I had seen him, Brad and he said, I know that guy.
Yeah, he's been around.
And he played in a very short-lived, excellent TV show called Nothing Sacred, because then the Catholic Church talked him into. He played Father Leo, and he was really good in that.
Yeah, I can see if you're playing priest, you don't want to be the guy from last year.
The most
sexist guy.
I just want to read. I want to read something. Okay, there was a lot of stuff that came out, and this is what I got out of the book that I hadn't read, but I want to read now. A guy named Dan Jenkins. Okay, he was a sports writer, and he wrote for GQ. As a lifelong sports writer, I'm the first to proclaim Slapshot the best sports movie ever made. He says, why? Because it's not only a falling down hilarious and captured the good nature profanity of sports, but at the same time circled all the edges of truth and even underlined many of them. Many sports movies are embarrassingly stupid and naive because they're made by Hollywood nitwits who fall into 2 categories: jock-sniffing hero worshippers and naive punks. Okay, I'm getting to a point because I talked about a movie earlier. I've worked in Hollywood and even got 3 films on the screen, but never had any in control. Thus, I marveled at the accident that became Slapshot. It's what my novel Semi-Tough could have been on the screen, but wasn't. And Slapshot remains one of those movies I wish I'd written. How it got to the screen as well as, and it did, remains a modern miracle like Casablanca.
Oh my
Which is
God!
a classic.
What drugs were people doing during this?
Okay,
well,
just like Birth of a Nation.
Because the other go ahead.
This sports film is not like any other sports film that I've seen.
No, it's
not. And that's why it is a
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah, because they don't really win. In the end, they really win. They win the game.
They didn't win the game. They didn't win the game.
But I have a question about that passage that you read.
Yeah.
So bring it back up.
Oh, okay.
When did the guy write that?
1977.
Well, of course it was the best sports movie at the time because there wasn't. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring it up.
I'm sorry. I take that back.
Wait a minute.
2007.
Well,
he wrote it in 2007.
I don't know.
Talking about.
Okay. Field of Dreams.
I'm with you on 100%. I weep every time I see that movie. My
Every
kids know.
man
My
does.
kids know I weep when you want to have a catch, Dad. That one gets all dudes
It gets
who've ever played
everybody
catch.
I know.
So yes.
But for me and my family, it's my dad saying, "You want to have a beer, son?"
So yes, I understand. And I'm trying to think what else. Bull Durham, we talked about that. Love that movie. But he mentioned Semi Tough, which I think is one of the best
I didn't see
football
that.
movies. North Dallas 40, another one.
Yeah. I really
Fantastic
like
sports
North
movies.
Dallas 40 is
so,
nice.
he's, obviously he's a big fan. So
But see, I like Friday Night Lights, and
Oh
I
my
like
God,
the
but
series on that.
I know, but that's different than the. That's not the same.
That's a soap opera.
It's a soap opera. Thank you. That's good. That's good.
Not that that's bad.
No, I'm not saying
soap
that's
opera.
bad.
Okay, so how would you characterize this, other than it's a classic, Wojo?
Wow, do I? Is that how
I call it.
Is that how I sound to you?
Pretty close.
No, you don't.
Notice Ralph has taken up the cudgel of defending this film.
That's fine. I love it. God, what are you going to ask me? Now that you said no, you said.
How would you classify if Friday Night Lights is a soap opera type thing? How would you classify this? Is this like
this is a slice of life. It's a one-off. It's the same as you like Major League, right?
Yes.
Same idea.
Yes.
Bunch of losers.
Yes.
Who've always lost. Figure out a way to win.
But that was more of a comedy.
This
right.
is I view this film predominantly
right.
as a drama.
This one, like Al was saying, this is he liked it because what's interesting is it's not 100% comedy.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on in the town that's causing them to do the things they're doing to make they want to keep the town happy.
Mm-hmm.
If the hockey team goes away, the town gets more depressed because they're losing their jobs anyway.
Yeah.
So the one entertainment they have is this hockey team.
No, I agree. And
so
that
Major
part,
League is 100% comedy.
Right.
Right. This one has some social stuff going on.
You know what
in
I
there.
think you're trying to say? This has heart.
It does have heart.
Which
I 100%
makes
believe
it-
that.
Yeah.
It has heart. Reggie, the dumb one, is the heart of this
Yeah,
movie.
he does. Reggie
Actually,
has heart.
Actually, the heart of the movie, I think, is Lindsay Krause. Krause. Who is it? Krause or Cruz?
Krause, I believe.
Who
I've been
who
despising
didn't
her
want to
for
be
years,
there?
so,
Who was she didn't want to be in that town. She was smarter than everybody in that town.
Yeah.
And her husband obviously was smarter than everybody, and she stuck with it. And she came on board. Now I don't think if they really followed what happened after the last scene, I don't think they go with Reggie to wherever they're going. I think they get the hell out of there and they start their life.
Yeah.
But the movie, all it's saying is she was on Reggie's side at that moment and everybody's happy, and then the U-Haul goes in front of them and stops the parade, which it drives me crazy.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
That's like the scene I told you in
I was
Pelham
watching the Macy's Day Parade. It was the same
Nobody
thing.
stops. Nobody can
I'm
stop
like, damn,
that.
is this where she's moving?
You can't stop that. So, yeah, I think it does have heart. Now, is it wrapped in all this other misogyny and all? Yes, it absolutely is. But at the core, it's a movie about a team that's helping a town, and the town's going down, and the team may go down, and all the implications that surround that.
What I like
even the
about
wife
this-
moved. She moved out of there. She knew it was
Yeah,
going down.
she said,
Yeah.
I got a job on Long
Right.
Island.
His ex-wife
So,
or not
yeah.
ex-wife.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
She was married. They were married.
They were still married because at
Yeah,
the
he
end
just-
she said, we're gonna have to get a divorce
Right.
sometime.
Yeah.
You
He always holds out.
I'm curious, Sean. What you said that the one actress you liked her in this movie and two others.
Yeah.
Which actress was that?
Lindsay Krause, who plays Braden's
Right.
wife.
I liked her. She was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I never saw that. Sorry.
Yeah, she was the
I never saw
The
it.
show or the movie?
Okay, the show.
Okay.
No, I never saw
I
it.
saw the show.
She was in
Saw the movie.
She was married to David Mamet too.
Yeah, I
So
liked
she was in
her.
a couple
The other
of his
two
movies.
films I liked her in were
she-
both Mamet related.
She was wow.
Yeah,
House of
before
Games.
the Rebecca Pigeon that we saw in Spanish Prisoner, who was his new
Wow.
I
wife.
was so glad when Mamet dumped her and went with Rebecca Pigeon because I think she's the better actress. But
You don't like Lindsay. What movies
I
did
was
you like
gonna
her
say
in?
why, because you thought you had a shot then.
yeah, woo-hoo. No, I liked
She was
her
in The Verdict
House
with
of
Paul
Games
Newman too. She was in
She
The
was in
Verdict
Bye
with Paul
Bye
Newman.
and
Love.
The Verdict. Those were the two other two films I liked her in.
I'm
were
sorry, what was the first one?
House of Games.
Oh, right, that's great.
And then I liked
David
her
Mamet.
in
The Verdict.
But
She
like,
was in
what's
The
the
Verdict.
worst one? Maybe Desperate Hours, the remake of Desperate Hours
didn't
with
see
Mickey Rourke. Oh God, she was horrible.
She's
It was
kind of stiff, right? She's stiff.
Yeah.
she's a
but
stiff
that's why
actress.
she
Yeah.
was good
yeah,
in
the House of Games, she could play that up pretty
And
good.
there was a comedy Bye Bye Love with Paul Reiser and Matthew Modine.
Is that the
and,
she was in that?
Beatles? They go see the Beatles
and-
or something?
No,
Oh.
they're three divorced guys, and
Oh.
Randy Quaid, and she played Randy Quaid's ex-wife, and her stiffness really
Worked
played well
one.
in that.
Yeah.
She was very cute in this one in
Yeah.
Slapshot. She was
Because I
dressed
recognized
her
her voice.
Yeah.
And I said to Brad, it's the woman who played the professor on Buffy. And he said, no, it's not. So then we look at, and
that
I
was
said,
her?
I'm telling you,
Oh,
it's
that's amazing.
because of the voice. Now, she looks completely different.
Yeah.
But
And Paul Newman always has like Strother Martin in all his movies.
Oh, I love Strother Martin.
She was in The Verdict with him. There's a lot of people that have been in all the
God,
Paul
I haven't
Newman.
seen The Verdict in so long. I should probably watch
That's
that.
a by the way, it's a classic.
But I like that one.
Just like
I like that
Casablanca.
classic.
Yeah.
You're never going to let me live that down. If I ever come back, they're
Why-
going to be
why-
like,
why-
Zach
why-
Glass, did you like
Wojo,
this?
this
This is
Wojo.
all about
Wojo.
this
We hope
podcast is
you
all
come back.
this podcast is all about beating a dead horse. That's what we do. That's what we should have called the dead. I can't change the name again.
No, I'll tell you.
that would've
Beating
been
a
good-
Dead podcast. Change it.
Oh no, we can't.
What I like about this over other sports movies is you look at movies like The Natural and things like this, and even Field of Dreams. There's mythology. There's
All
sports mythology.
That's right.
This
That's right.
film has no mythology.
Well, the
You know-
mythology is the brutal hockey players. That's a myth.
No, but what I mean is it's not this like.
No, there isn't a higher. There
is.
isn't a higher reason for anything.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I mean. It's not.
No,
like
Natural's
this
a higher. There's a higher purpose
You know,
there.
there's a higher
Field of
purpose
Dreams.
for
His
sport.
father's coming back.
Yeah,
there's a higher
it's family
purpose
bonding.
to make
this
him better.
Is just
right.
a bunch of guys
It's just
who are like have this skill.
It is
and
what
they're
it
like,
is.
They're
Right.
like most of these guys are probably at the pinnacle of their career or on their way.
And that's
down,
why they're
and
all
they're
up-
riding
right.
it out.
They're riding it out, except for like you said, the goalie and Michael.
Yeah,
Braden.
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the big quote from Slapshot that you guys keep saying?
Old time hockey coach.
Okay, now
Put
let's
on the
compare
foil.
that. Let's compare that. Want to have a catch?
I get it. No, I get it. You want me to?
sorry.
You want me to cry
I'm
right
sorry,
now? Is that
no.
what you're trying to do? Trying to make me weep. That movie gets me every time. That scene gets me
I'm just
every
being
time.
a smart aleck.
Well, you know
fine.
what? This
I'm
film was
just
very
fucking around.
informative of me, also sexually, because
Excuse
I
me?
Also-
really learned.
We're done.
Oh, my
And
God.
suddenly,
Podcast over.
I mean, it's like this is the film where I realized that if your wife is a lesbian, you're probably gay. And I remember when they asked him if the one guy, maybe when Braden goes to the French guy, goes, "What's wrong with him? Maybe he's gay." And he's like, "No, he's really well hung, like a horse."
Like a horse.
So that means if you're really well hung, you're not gay.
They also brought up
You know?
that goalie in another thing I read about his existential conversation he has at the first start of the movie. He's having an interview with the guy,
Yeah.
the color guy.
Yeah.
And he talks about being in the box,
Yeah.
in the penalty.
Yeah.
He goes, yes, you get penalized, you're in the box for a little while, you get fixed, and then you're out.
Yeah, and
and
then
we
you
have,
feel free
and he
to-
goes, dirty. He says, the dirty English are always trying to, follow me, and that's not what I do. So it starts right away with some existential stuff
Yeah,
right from the
this is-
beginning.
this
It's
is
not a
deep.
sports movie.
This is deep. For
It's
a sports
very
movie.
deep.
It's very deep.
It's not schmaltzy.
It's not schmaltzy.
no,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, and Melinda Dillon's naked. That's probably the part. Did you sleep through that? Where he sleeps
No.
with the wife?
No, I saw that.
She was cute.
She was just a runaway hockey wife. You know?
She's a runaway hockey wife. That's Melinda Dillon from
From the Brady Bunch.
No, the
She,
third
no,
Jan.
she
No,
was
just
the
kidding.
mom in Christmas Story.
Yes,
and
was.
she was also in.
Oh my God.
Now I can never
Yeah.
watch that movie
his
You
name?
again.
never
Oh my God.
unsee her boobs when you watch that movie.
Oh, Close Encounters. Also.
and
Yeah,
Close
and Close
Encounters, that was
Encounters,
it.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, but she didn't show us anything in that.
No, nothing. So,
Thanks
yeah.
a lot, guys.
No, but I'll tell you
what do we do? What do we do? We take it
We
the
have
wrong way?
ruined a Christmas story for them.
I
Is
didn't
what
think
we
of
have
that.
done.
I didn't think of that.
Well, I'll
You're
tell you,
welcome.
One of the
So
reasons
now
I
I
said
did
ticked
you a
them
favor.
off,
Drama.
and I ticked you guys off. So hey,
I'm not mad at all.
No, we're not bad.
I know.
Whoa, Joe, this is why we bring you
I
here.
know. No, I had no idea that was her. I knew she was in Close Encounters, Al, but I had no idea. It
Oh
was
my
when I was
God.
looking on IMDb, and my reaction was, "Oh my God! I saw the mother from A Christmas Story's boobs now."
No, that made it better.
Whatever.
You hated what?
I hated A Christmas Story when I first saw it.
When I first saw it,
I also
but I
do not like the
Oh
film.
my God.
But I do now.
It's a classic.
But I think it's
Yeah, it's a
because-
classic, so I had to.
Well, they show up for 24 hours in Christmas,
That's
so.
right.
I
That is
think
not
they
a
wear
cult
you
classic.
down,
It's a legitimate
you know?
classic.
After the fifth time,
It may be because
being
the kid-
forced to watch it.
It may be because the kid's name is Ralphie.
You know
I
what?
mean, that
Yeah.
might have had something to do with it.
Ralphie, I keep wanting to call you Ralphie.
Yeah, call me. That's what everybody calls me at home. Nobody,
Okay.
nobody calls me Ralph. It's
Ralphie.
So, all right. Well, I think we need to wrap this up.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
I
we're just
can't.
getting
You know,
started.
the
I wanted
time
to
is
get to
flying.
the
I know. We're just
drama
getting
and
going.
comedy.
But
We
We
got to
get
do the barrel
philosophical.
ratings here.
oh, okay. We can do the barrels.
We've,
we know
we've
now.
got a
Again,
new
we have to
rule
explain
since
this
your
every time.
absence.
There's no.
Wojo.
It's not a new rule. It's been the same rule. You guys just forget it. It's 0 to 5 barrels, yellow barrels. You can do half barrels.
But you can't do any other fractions.
No quarters, no eighths,
7/8.
no none of that.
Like him.
It's
like
half.
15/16.
Like half.
It's half. Okay.
I like 3 16ths.
Al, yellow barrel rating.
I'll say 3.
Out of 5.
Hassan didn't
Out of
see
5.
it. Wojo?
I'm going to give it a 2 because it's not the worst.
What's the worst? I want to hear that.
Well, you put me on the spot here.
Exactly.
I don't remember
exactly.
what the
That's what I'm doing. Okay, 2 barrels. That's fine. Sean?
Okay, I'm going to give it 4.5.
Okay.
Ooh.
My God.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Sacrilege.
God.
You guys,
When I first saw the film, it would have been a 2.5, but it's grown on me.
You guys
the older I get and the more I remember the 70s,
You start
the more
losing
I like
brain
the
cells.
films. Yeah.
Maybe, no, I'm kidding.
I'm just
I
gonna
wish
say,
they spent more time
I'm going to
outside.
say this once.
It's that repetitive head
I'm going
trauma.
to say this once. You're all wrong.
It's,
This
it's
is 5 barrels.
Oh, my God.
This movie's going to outlive all of us. It's going to be
I guarantee
in the
that about me.
pantheon of famous movies, and it's going to be a classic, not a cult classic. It is a full-blown classic.
A genuine classic?
And I suggest that Hassan go watch this movie for the first time, and I'm begging you, Wojo, to give it another shot. Pick a day when you're happy and feeling good or whatever it is,
Or
and
playing
watch the
hockey.
movie.
How
Not
would that
tired,
make you feel?
Yeah, on a day I'm
Not
playing
tired.
hockey.
Play some hockey, then watch this movie, and I
See,
think
I
it'll
like
change your mind.
Clerks. There was hockey in Clerks.
Clerks. Was there hockey in that?
Yes, there is.
Street hockey,
I've
wasn't
never
it?
seen it.
I like Wayne's World. There was
That's
street
street
hockey
hockey.
in that.
What up, Goon? Have you seen Goon?
I like
Goon?
what?
Goon.
No. I like the
Mighty Ducks?
Mighty
I've
Ducks.
seen the Mighty Ducks. I like that.
You know
You
they-
like the Mighty Ducks better than
I
SpongeBob?
Mighty
like
Ducks.
the Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks, before their 2007 or 8 playoff run, would play a 5-minute scene from Slapshot before every game to get them all riled
Wait,
up.
did they bleep and censor everything?
Probably they picked the 5 minutes that didn't have any swearing, I'm sure.
Or boobs
I don't know
or
where
anything.
there was a couple of boobs.
Or
There wasn't that many.
misogyny or,
Melinda
you know,
Dillon.
or...
Come on.
So it was the
Melinda
parade when she pulled the
Dillon.
car in front.
That was so obnoxious. I keep bringing that up.
What's wrong?
That was awesome.
That the damn U-Haul went in front of the parade and stopped the whole parade.
Yeah,
That's just not right. Can't do that.
That's awesome.
That's my one negative in this movie. That's it.
Yeah, that's what knocked it down a half a star for me.
Not for me. I kept it at 5 because it's a classic.
It's just a movie.
I know. So,
So
it's just a movie.
you would say it's up there with Jaws.
Yes.
You would say...
No, I mean,
it's
for
up
me,
there with Citizen Kane.
For me personally,
Yeah.
No, Jaws is the epitome of everything for
But
me.
okay,
From
so
my
Jaws
childhood.
is 5.
I can't know.
Jaws is 5.
Jaws is a shark movie at 5. This is a hockey movie at 5.
Okay, so let's rank the other hockey movies you love.
The only one I know, name some. I know Goon. I'd give that 3. I thought Goon was pretty
Mighty
good.
Ducks?
Never saw it.
You never saw the
Miracle.
Mighty
Have you seen
Ducks.
Miracle? The movie about the 1980.
Do you believe in miracles?
I give that.
What
I
about
give
that
that.
film,
That's a
Land
good
for
movie.
USA or something? wasn't
I
it?
like that.
This-
Mystery Alaska.
Mystery Alaska.
With Cameron
I
Crowe.
saw that.
Not Cameron Crowe. Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds, I think, was in
No, Mystery Alaska. It
That's where he goes up
starred-
and plays hockey. It's Russell Crowe. I don't know who the other star is.
It's not hockey, but which version do you like better of the longest
Oh,
yard?
come on.
Don't
insult me with that easy
The Adam
question.
Sandler one.
Don't. Burt Reynolds is in that one,
I
right?
thought
Yeah.
Mystery Alaska was when they get stuck up there.
No, Mystery where he plays. I think it's when he
What's
plays the
that
hockey.
Alaska movie?
How do you spell mystery?
It's got that guy who was in
M-Y.
League of Their Own
T-E-R-Y.
as the oh God, now that's good.
Russell Crowe, Burt
crazy.
Reynolds. It's a
Yeah.
hockey movie up in Alaska. That's Mystery Alaska. I don't
Burt
know.
was probably too old to hit the ice in that one.
I think Burt played a coach probably. Have you guys, speaking of, okay, it's not a hockey movie, but it's a real great curling movie called Men with Brooms. You guys got to check that out.
Is that-
It's-
is that Doc?
Isn't that
No.
an oxymoron?
No.
A great curling
it's
movie.
a great, I'm telling you, it's Leslie Nielsen's in it. It's not a full-blown comedy, but check out Men with Brooms. It's a curling movie that's really
My
well done.
favorite movie with curling in it is The Beatles' Help.
Is there
Where they
curling
do-
in that?
Yeah, there is, right?
They-
when they're in Switzerland.
Oh.
Al, what's your favorite movie featuring curling?
No, give me your favorite sports movie, and then we got to wrap it up. Seriously, we're getting long here.
I'm going to go with Alive.
What?
What's the oh,
Okay.
That's my favorite sports movie. Thank you.
That's the end of the podcast. That's it. You just figured out a way out.
thank you.
Appreciate
I
that.
think I hear the
All right,
theme
everybody.
music
Right, I
rising
gotta
up.
say, Wojo, do you want to promote anything? Is there anything?
awesome.
You got a Rick Springfield thing you're doing? Anything else?
Yeah.
Twitter handle.
At the Michelle Wojo, and Michelle is spelled with one L.
Excellent.
Look
That's
me
the
up
way
there.
we-
I always share my stuff on there.
Okay, great.
Do you
And-
overshare?
Not like you guys have.
No,
I
we
found
definitely
out your
overshare.
sex life was
Excuse
affected
me?
by Slapshot. He said that.
Well, I learned about.
Well, he learned
Yeah,
about.
you
He
can't be
make
mad.
sure when you
things,
people can't hear that you're saying it to Sean, not to me. You said he said that. That's Sean, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's get that straight.
It's okay, Ralphie.
So, there you go. Thank you very much.
I know one thing. You're going to be watching A Christmas Story differently. next month.
Come on. I was there in
Oh my
77.
gosh!
So
There's not enough therapy in the world.
Yeah,
to
that came out in
unhear some of
77,
this.
and Christmas Story came out in 80 something. So
Yeah.
I saw long before. I didn't care. What's our Twitter? It's at YKY Podcast.
Podcast, yes, indeed.
We have a YouTube at
Check us
Yippee-Ki-Yay.
out.
We have a YouTube at Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast. I think what else we have? We have a webpage, Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherpodcast.com. We don't know what the next movie is going to be. We'll put that up when we edit this show. But we appreciate Wojo coming down again.
I love
for
being
a
here.
wonderful chat.
I hope you
about a
will
movie
have
she
me
hated.
back, even though I
Of course. Are you kidding me?
completely ripped this apart.
We
with
like
you
any-
Let's see you
close
one
to-
with one you like.
We like anybody that
No,
likes us.
I
That's
don't
how we roll here.
Okay.
So
I like you guys,
you're
so
fine.
we're good there.
But we appreciate you coming down, and thanks for it. And we'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
See ya.
Over and out. Join us next time as we discuss the film Mother with special guest Mark Casal. And please check out our website at yippee-ki-yay motherpodcast.com.